What's going on, everyone? My name is Kyle. I'm a full-time options trader and founder of Ophinicus Holdings, the premier options trading community. I wanted to make a quick video detailing my experience with Topstep, which is a futures trading funding program. Basically, I started with this program around early 2022. February, March, sometime around there, going through their various combines. I just wanted to detail my experience with the program. Now, starting with the program, you do have three different options that you can go with. It's going to be various types of challenges based on how much funding you are looking to receive. When I went about the program, it was the 50K, 100K, and 150K option. I opted for the 50K option as my goal with this was just to see if these strategies that I utilized with options would apply directly to ES. So basically I wanted to see if the strategies I was using with Spire SPX translated directly into ES. I was able to accomplish that goal by proceeding through their various combines. Now, the way you actually get funding is they do have two different trading combines. Basically, you're just going to be paper trading via their platform to prove your proficiency in markets. They do have some very, very tight risk rules, which was the biggest challenge for me. It did take me a few attempts to actually get the funding. I did go ahead and get it sometime in August. I got the certificate here. I'll go ahead and put it on the screen. And I went ahead and did the interview with Topstep themselves. I wanted to go ahead and show that interview here in this video as well, so stay tuned for that. Basically, if you are looking for funding or you are just wanting to trade ES or some other futures contracts, I think Topstep is a wonderful program. You definitely probably want to have your strategies dialed in before you are attempting the combines, just to avoid that kind of monthly recurring cost. Now, once you get the funding, they do have a pretty good profit split. I personally was just looking to pretty much verify the fact that my strategies would work with ES and kind of develop familiarity with futures trading without putting on any actual real risk. That was the entire purpose of this challenge. I was able to verify that my strategies do indeed work with the futures. I went ahead and made a withdrawal from Topstep and then closed my account, and now I just go ahead and trade the futures on my own. The whole reason I wanted to do this was because at the start of the year, started to notice we were getting a lot of pre-market movement, and it's not very easy to capture that pre-market movement without overnight exposure with options contracts. And so you could be swing trading, but that sets you up for additional risk. What I like to do is just be trading based on price patterns. And the best way that I know, or that I saw to do that, was with futures. Now, you do have certain brokers like interactive brokers that offer 24-hour SPX trading. My preference was to opt for something like ES, like futures contracts, where you're actually going to have much better liquidity and you can actually get into those moves during the pre-market session. And so that proved to be very helpful for capturing some of those pre-market moves. Overall, I found the Topstep program to be very beneficial. It actually helped my trading in the long run because it forced me to think about risk more. They have such tight risk parameters, even through their combines, that it really, really forces you to think about risk upfront. So even though I am a consistently profitable trader going into this program, and I do have my own strategies that work and have statistical edge over the long run, before I even went into this program, going through this program actually helped me to improve as a trader. And I mentioned that in the interview as well. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get directly into that interview.
Welcome to Topstep Funded Trader Interview. I'm Eddie Horn, and today we've got Kyle with us. But before we get to Kyle, just a reminder, make sure your pencils are sharpened. There is ink in your pen because taking notes will help you down the road. So let's get going here. Kyle, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Eddie? Great to finally connect with you.
It's very nice to meet you finally. And well, we've got a lot of questions for you. So let's start it out. Tell us about yourself, Kyle.
Well, I am from San Diego, California, currently residing in Dallas, Texas. I made the move a few years ago to be a little bit closer to Eastern time zone. I currently am heavily involved with financial markets. I trade options professionally on my own. So that is what I spend most of my time doing.
All right, now let's move the clock back a little bit.
Okay.
What or who got you interested in trading?
Wow, I have been, interested in financial markets for I want to say as long as I can remember, probably from very, very young teenage years. My father was always interested in markets. He always had, some commentary on the markets, things like that. He was not directly involved with finance, but I would say definitely, like, looking back on it, he is probably the one that kind of planted the seed, if you will, to get interested in financial markets. And then from there, I had some friends when I was in school that were messing with stocks, talking about investments, and that is kind of what initially piqued my interest to look into it more. And I've been involved ever since then.
It sucked you in. It sucked you
Yeah,
in, just
yeah,
like the rest of
exactly.
us. Yes, hook, line,
Exactly,
and sinker.
exactly. Yeah.
That's cool.
There's no
That's
turning
cool.
back now.
There is no turning back. How about education, training? Did your dad help you with that?
No, he didn't. My dad was not a trader or anything like that. I am primarily self-taught. My tuition to the market was quite expensive, tens of thousands of dollars before I eventually turned profitable. And that is actually one of the amazing things about Topstep, in my opinion, is, like, you can develop your strategy without any actual money on the line. So this platform in that regard is massively advantageous. But as far as, like, any training or any type of formal trading education that I had, no, it was all trial and error.
Trial
Let
and
me
error.
see how this is working. Can I get some profits here? What's that looking like? And so it's just, uh, throwing mud at the wall and seeing what sticks, for lack of a better
Right,
term.
right. You hit it with trial and error.
Right,
You
right, yeah.
know, I mean, I'm still learning stuff, and I've been doing this since '85. Yeah, 1985. For some of you, uh, but I learn something new every day, which is really cool.
Well, we're always learning, right? As traders. I mean,
You
it's
have to,
it's always going. So
right? Keep that brain open. Be a sponge. Absorb as much information as you can.
right, right. Yep.
Now, you said you're trading options and so forth. How about futures? What are you trading now?
ES. ES. I
Yes.
primarily focus on ES. I do a lot of SPY and SPX analysis. And so what made the most sense to me, like, as far as burden to entry and just kind of reducing the amount of new learning curve that I had to get through, it made sense to go with ES. In that regard, I really like the liquidity, and these days the volatility is amazing. So I put all my focus there.
Now you mentioned the learning curve. When did you hit sort of a wall or a speed bump, knowing, well, this isn't correct. I have to change it here.
With futures, that came pretty early. Definitely some of the rules that Topstep has made it a little more challenging for me, simply because, I was not used to such tight risk parameters. And so, when you start to basically, when I continually am taking stops or something like that, that to me is a cue that, okay, what I'm doing is not working.
Mhm.
I need to go ahead and look at what it is, my approach in the market, and then go ahead and make whatever changes are appropriate here.
Okay, it's and once again, you sort of circle back to trial and error. Does this work?
Right.
Does this work?
Right. Yeah.
No, let's take a couple steps back, reevaluate. Let's try it again.
Exactly.
So you're being
Exactly.
smart about it. Cool. How long you been with Top Step?
I believe I have been with Top Step 6 or 7 months now.
Okay, all right. And how many combines have you gone through?
So the stage one took me 2 or 3 tries. I was continually retrying that, basically, because, I just mentioned that I had to adjust my risk parameters. And so that was
Right.
part of the trial and error with futures for me. And so I hit that max loss pretty quickly a few times, tried a couple of resets, eventually got around to passing that. And then the second stage took me another 2 tries. And I finally got the certificate, got the funding, everything like that. So it was a few months of working through the combines. Definitely is not like a one and go. You need to probably be giving this more time than you are expecting if you're brand new to trading, and just, sticking with it. Absolutely.
Got it. How about indicators? Do you use indicators?
So I focus primarily on price and volume. I'm a big, just purely price and volume type of guy. So with that is going to come, candlestick charts, obviously like default settings. And then with that, I also really like VWAP. VWAP is just a mathematical calculation of price and volume. Beyond that, I don't like relying heavily on indicators. I find them to be lagging. It tends to cloud my judgment as far as what is happening with price structure. And so I focus again primarily on, what type of price structure can I find here to set risk against, and then do I have volume confirmation? That's pretty much the basis of what I do.
Okay, appreciate that and sharing that with us. How about your strengths?
So definitely my strengths are going to be in high probability trades. I have found that I have good tendency to find trades that are highly probable and working. My hit rate from what I've tracked is about 70%. And so this is definitely, from other traders I've talked to, is on the high side. But with that, as far as like to balance that out, is like my weakness is I have a hard time really pushing the gas when my edge is present. And so, I tend to work with kind of a mental system known as like daily goal. And so when I hit this certain threshold of profits, it's hard for me to continue to push the gas after that, even if I have edge present in the market.
Okay, appreciate that. Now we've got a lot of experienced traders, a lot of new traders, a lot of in-between traders. Words of wisdom from you. What would you share with a new trader asking you about this trading?
Definitely don't give up. Trading, what I have found just in my own journey and then in talking with other traders is like the market tends to attract people that want to get rich quick. They see someone online posting huge profits and, they're like, okay, this looks easy. Barrier to entry to the market is fairly low, so anyone could get involved. But this is just not the reality of trading, as I'm sure you know, Eddie. And so, you don't want to come in guns blazing. You want to take it slow and give yourself enough time. Do not be putting, all of your risk on the line early on in your trading career. And then beyond that is really documenting and reviewing your trades. For me, most of my growth has come from after the market is closed, going and looking at my execution, seeing what is working in the current market environment, fine tuning from there and saying, okay, this is what's working. I need to do more of this. Here are the trade entries that are not really serving me. Let me try and focus on not utilizing this strategy or not utilizing this approach. And then just really, putting more effort and more mental capital to what is actually serving you.
Yeah. Slow and steady wins the race.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, has Topstep, while you're in the program, has it made you a better trader?
I'd say absolutely. Any time in the market is going to be, as long as it is productive and you're not there with like a gambling mentality, it's absolutely going to be, it's going to help you improve. One big thing that Topstep really forced me to do, and this is why I was really appreciative of the program, is the risk parameters that you guys have essentially forced me to dial in my entry. You have to be more precise with your entry, especially if you want to, not be hitting that daily loss or that weekly loss. That was one of my challenges early on in kind of figuring this out, is like, okay, I need to focus on making sure my risk is tight. And the best way to do that is to improve my entry. And so absolutely, Topstep has definitely helped me with ES and improving my entry.
Now, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently when you first started out?
Well, I would probably, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, is I would take my own advice and definitely take things more slowly. Like I came into Topstep just kind of a little too aggressively. And so, I was going with my exact strategies that I utilize with the options and things like that in the futures market. There is a strong correlation there because the underlying is the same. But as far as approach, it does need to be a little bit differently. So I would slow down, focus on, probably just one contract at a time, and looking for that best possible entry, keeping risk extremely tight.
Now, we've been talking about the Topstep rules. Well, you have been. What rule would you say helped you the most?
Daily loss limit, for sure. Absolutely.
Break it down.
Just basically, one thing that I've always struggled with as a trader, and I see it in other traders as well, is you can go on tilt very easily. And
Yes.
so let's say that, you're down 500. Daily loss limit on the 50K account was 1,000. And so I'm thinking, okay, I'm down 500. I really don't have that much more room to, be getting back into green. Maybe I should just stop right here before I get down into like negative 900 on the day. And now I'm way too close to that threshold. And so having that always in the back of my head that, okay, the daily loss limit is going to disqualify me, or I may have to do a reset or something like that, is absolutely, like, it just forces you to shut it down, walk away, come back tomorrow, fresh minded, things like that. And so that's absolutely like the number one rule, in my opinion.
A lot of traders reach that point, but shutting it down is so hard to do.
It is.
What has helped you commit to that?
Basically just understanding that, I'm at this point in my trading day, I'm probably not thinking clearly, meaning, I'm in a kind of more of like what I would call a make it back mentality. Like, I'm just swinging for the fences. I may not even be trading my best strategy. There's been times where, I've been at the desk. I'll try and trade right through lunch, things like that. That has never served me at all. And so it's kind of, it takes a lot of introspection and self-awareness and things like that. But eventually at the end of the day, is like, you have to do this. Like, you have to, whatever it takes for you to walk away from the desk, it has to be done. If you, like, in my opinion, if you want to be successful in markets, that's just a requirement. And absolutely, it's hard, especially early on in your career, but hey, it takes what it takes. So.
Right. Yeah. It's that personal loss limit.
Right.
You got to commit to it.
Exactly.
And, when you get to that point, it's not an option or a choice.
Right.
It's an action.
Right. Yes.
I'm done.
Well said. Yes. Love that.
So, but it's about the process, the complete process.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
Kyle,
Oh, yeah.
I want to thank you for coming up here and doing the interview. You had some really fantastic answers, and I really hope that a lot of our traders watching and listening will take advantage of that and use that to make them better. And give it a try, test it, see what works. But we really appreciate that. But before you go, we got our fun question.
All right.
And if you can have one night out with one person, past or present, who would you have it with?
Wow. Well, it would probably, I'm just going to say the first person that popped in my head, and my dad has passed 5 years ago. And so if I could have one more night with him, that would just mean the world to me. I would give anything for that. So it would absolutely be my father.
I love that answer. I'm in the same boat with you. That would be great. One night, just one time.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing better than family, right? So
you got it. Great answer. All right, but any closing comments before we go?
No, that's it, Eddie. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. Until we meet again, I'm Eddie Horn, and stay focused, stay positive, trade well, and take care. We'll see you.
Thank you guys so much for watching this interview. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments about actually futures trading or options trading, go ahead, drop a comment below. I'm always available in the Traders Think Tank. If you want to trade with a group of professional traders, join us in the Traders Think Tank. I do have a link below, 14-day trial for $1. I'll see you guys inside. Thanks so much for watching this video.